I'm Melody Kamau, a rugby player. Plays for UOE Trojanesses. I captain the team. Yeah, and I'm a big fan of the UOE Trojans male team. Yeah, and I play several roles in the management of both the teams. Women rugby in Kenya, we're doing good. The steps we have taken forward are good, but there are challenges. There's no talent because there are not many teams mashinani to recognize those talents. So, but we're doing good. We have beaten South Africa in the last 7th Challenger series we played, and we are waiting. Feedback is very, very positive. And I say the team is doing really good. We beat South Africa, a very good women's side. We did not come out of that tournament, the Challenger Series, yes, the Challenger Series with any trophy, but we did good. We beat South Africa, we beat China, though they beat us in the quarterfinals of the Challenge Cup, but we did beat them in the poolings. Good game. The team is coming up nice. If you look at the ladies, at least there are new faces in the team. The women rugby teams in the country. Our main team, Kulabu, Mwamba, is what we call Kulabu. It was where women rugby was pioneered in Kenya. That was the first team. And since then, teams have come up from homeboys to suburbs to Impala, Rakit that has recently rised, and they're doing good. But there's the women rugby teams. They're mainly based in Nairobi, which is because there's a lot of rugby from age grade rugby where small kids are playing, high school rugby. There's so much rugby going on in Nairobi. There's so much talent too. The transition is smooth. From high school, there's talent already identified. That talent transitions to a place where they can play rugby, which is Nairobi. So many players. I know of Milka. I know of Night Otuoma. Right now, she's currently in the Kenya team. And she started training with Kisumu Dolphins. Kisumu Dolphins right now, it is existent, but it is not existent. Like you would say Mwamba is existent. If you talk about Mwamba, you'd say, I know this person from Mwamba, I know this person from Mwamba. But when you're talking about Kisumu Dolphins, you will never mention names because the team comes and dies. I also know of Milka, who was in Western Spears, good talent. She was seen and she has moved to Nairobi to pursue her career. I saw her in a Kenyan jersey. I have not seen the team, so I don't know whether she's still in the team. But I know she left for Nairobi to proceed with rugby. If rugby in Nairobi can be the rugby in Western, women rugby can grow. There's so much talent in the Western. Women from Western are naturally strong. So any woman from Western akishine tu hivi kwa rugby lazima achukuliwe Nairobi. Juu Western hakuna team hiyo consistent. Juu Otuoma angepata Dolphins wanacheza pamoja, angesaidia wasichana watatu wawili wasonge mbele pamoja. But no, there's no team to train with. You're doing this alone. You have to train with the males team. Lazima ujifunze scrum, ujifunze line out na wanaume. It's hard. Like unlike in Nairobi, unaingia kwa uwanja unapata kuna wasichana kaa 10 wana train leo. So you're comfortable. Unajifunza the things you're supposed to know in rugby with women, with fellow women. And like sasa huku kwetu kama mimi, hii wiki last week nimekuwa training. Nilikuwa peke yangu for 2 days, and the other 2 days only other 2 ladies came. And they're new players. You're teaching them from scratch. You cannot play with them. So inakuwa hard. Kama mimi hata nikikuwa na talent, siwezi grow your talent, kama male players ndio teammates wangu. If there was a tournament for Western teams, every 3 months there is a women's tournament. I would be bringing in a team for 3 months with the hope that telling them, kujeni to train, tuko na game next month. That way they will come for training. But now I'm telling them we train, and the last game we played was in December. In Nairobi, you can even organize the tournaments for teams, and you're all in Nairobi. In Eldoret, there's only one team, UOE, my team. And even that team, there's Eldopoli, there's RVTTI, there's Moi, there's Eldoret RFC. And still, even with all those women in those Eldoret rugby clubs, even the women even in all those Eldoret rugby clubs, there are no women enough that fill up my team and come for training consistently because there are not those tournaments. If there was a tournament for the North Rift side, Western side, there was UAE Trojans, there was Kisumu Dolphins, there was Western Spears, Sigalagala Poli has started a team recently. Yeah, Eldo Poli are trying to start up a team, and I hope they come up well. Rugby has always been there in high schools and in primary schools, especially for girls, but it was not, the ministry did not see it as one of the sports, like the way football is seen, like girls play football in high school. There's high school competition. So recently they even held a girls in rugby tournament in Nakuru last weekend, but won. Yes, on the 22nd, no. Last weekend, but on the 19th, yes, they held a tournament for girls in high school. Yes, Jomo Kenyatta was there. There were a few schools, there were 5 schools, but mostly based in Nakuru and Nairobi. So there's still no rugby. Oh, and there was Iregi Girls in Western, which actually won the tournament. So it's a good move because now in girls transitioning from high school to campus will transition with the knowledge of the game inside of them, with the discipline inside of them, with what is expected of them. They already know. So when they're transitioning to campus, it's easier for them to keep in the game. Rather than those that we're just transitioning from high school, you've never played rugby, you don't know what rugby is, hata hujaiona inachezangwa aje, and then I am here teaching you about rugby and all other pressures of life are still on you. It's hard. But now that they've introduced girls rugby in girls' schools, we will do much better. There will be transition. Talent will be seen from... They are the people who play for under 16 football, Kenya. Those people are found in high schools when they are playing those games. That is where teams like Kabras get their players when Ofafa Jericho is playing, when schools from Western, when Chavakali, when Kakamega High is playing those rugby games. That is where Western Bulls goes and notices this is a good player. Kabras goes, notices a good player. They take that player, and when you're in Kabras, you can join the Kenya team. You're exposed. People are seeing you. Your talent is everywhere. So yeah, the transition will be amazing and it will result to more women players in rugby. There's a lot to be done and it's a challenge to us who are in the field. Also, I think it's because there are very few women in rugby, especially in the North Rift region. So it's hard.
Why?
Because there are no technical benches that are filled with women. There are no women training to be coaches. Me as a woman, I would prefer my coach to be a woman. But I don't have that. It's hard. There's that, I would say rugby is still male dominated. The women are trying to come in. That's when women, like I have done my level 1 coaching so I can get in it, so that if I'm waiting my certificate, I start going to girls' schools and training them rugby, because I cannot wait for when I'll have 5 high schools in Eldoret or in North Rift region playing rugby. It is easier. I'll hold a tournament for them. You'll recognize talent. That way, hata unaambia mtoto, hey, uko na talent ya rugby, UAE kuna talent, apply campus UAE. But now you cannot tell them that, because you're telling them that you don't know who plays rugby, you don't know how much she can do, how much skill she can gain. You don't know because they're not playing now. But we have, in the Child Fund Rugby, the conference I was telling you about, that was one of the action. Have more women in the technical benches. Have more women officiating. We have Doreen and this other lady, the ref, Doreen and I have forgotten her name. Yes, there are referees in this region, but it's hard for you're only 2 when you're sitting in a table with 20 men. Those men will talk about their issues. They'll talk about what they want for their team. So one way is have more leaders. If there's a meeting for North Rift region and that table has 15 people, can 5 of them be women? That way they can be able to voice. You're stronger together. They can be able to voice these challenges. They can be able to voice our challenges of tournaments, of having fixtures that are there. Women in Kenya, women rugby, you wait for tournament kuambiwa. They see fixtures. For men, wanajuanga kutoka April tunaanza kucheza 7th. Kutoka October hivi, September, we start playing 15th. There will be Kusa Victoria Cup has come up. There will be pre-season games. Then you're sure there's a league coming on. on November, every November unajua 15 inaanza, every April unajua yes 7 siko, so hata ukitrain unajua kuna game. But for women we wait, wanakaa hivi wanaona pesa imebaki, wacha tuweke tournament. It's never planned, as in we should have like the way the male have an year fixture, even for women should be the same. That way you have something to look forward to. You're not training for fun. Sometimes hata tunaenda kwa uwanja tunaambiwa tuna train kwa sababu tunataka kuonekana na vijana, jua tutokuangi na game. Sasa some people like me can take it, and someone like me I love training, so I'll show up for training despite what you tell me. But kuna mtu ametrain ameenda kutana na best yake, nyinyi yeye mnaenda kutrain not because you want to play the game, because you never go for games, but the games are not there. We don't have tournaments. The tournaments that are there in Nairobi, they are harder to access. Bring us a tournament in Western where tunajua tukisafiri asubuhi na turudi jioni, we will have played the game. Nairobi is too far from us. We don't have funds. Alafu sponsors don't sponsor women rugby, so it's harder. You know, with men at least mnaenda game hivi, a sponsor comes in, chips in for something, but for women rugby it's still not recognized. Alafu it's not televised. Like K24 plus televises almost all Kenya Cup games. You'll find them on YouTube. You'll find them on everywhere. If you want to watch a Kenya Cup game, a male game, you'll find it. But for women, utawaipata. Sasa hata watu wajui kuna game inachezwa ati na Mwamba na Sababu za kuna. Haijawahi ongelelewa, you'll never hear it. Unasikianga tu game iliisha. For COVID, we had like 3 tournaments, but those tournaments were sponsored by the union, not even the school. The school sponsors KUSA. Our university is not big on sports, I would say. They only sponsor us like, KUSA only, because KUSA is the Kenya University Sports Association, so it's like they have to do it. They're not that big on sports. Also, those tournaments, where are they so we can look for sponsors? That is where we start. Yes, where are those tournaments so we can look for sponsors? If you're telling me I have a game, I mean, I have networked a little. I know a few people. I can be like, yo, give us transport. We're only like 12 ladies. Give us transport to Nairobi. I mean, we always find our way through. Even those tournaments that union was sponsoring, they were not sponsoring everything 100%, and we still found our way through. With tournaments, there's that motivation. Hata mimi kama player nitajitolea fair. Juu naenda kucheza and I want to play. But so there are no tournaments. It's hard. Kama we have not had a union tournament since last year. Every day you have to say no to a man. Why? Why am I coming for training na unanikatia? Why? Come on, hold my hand. Tell me, come for training tomorrow. I'll show you how to pass the ball. Come for training tomorrow. I'll show you how a line out is done. Come for training tomorrow. We'll do SNC together. Tell me things like that. Stop telling me you're so soft, you cannot play rugby. Come be my woman. Come stay in the house, cook for me. Come, you'd be so good for me to be my woman. Why you when I come to that field, see me as a teammate. Stop seeing me as a woman that can be your woman. It makes it so hard. There are other women who cannot take it. Some women like can take it and be like, some cannot take it. Kuna wenye wamekuja one day and they never come again, and you ask them what went wrong. There was like the number of calls I got that day, the number of checks I got that day. I cannot. Siwezi rudi kwa uwanja yenyewe. Jana usiku vijana 5 walinitext. It's hard for me. Jana kuna vijana 5 walinitext wananitaka na nilisema no. And then I have to go to that field Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, next week Tuesday, Wednesday. If your self-esteem is not as strong, if you're not confident in what you want, if you're not passionate about rugby, it's going to be hard for you to come to the field. For a woman who is, I don't know, I don't want to say weak, because that is not weakness. It's just too much pressure from men. I don't know, they maybe want this field to be theirs alone. Rugby is a strength game. You have to be seen as strong. You have to be strong for you to play rugby. And instead, if you have skills, you can maneuver through rugby. If you have skills and strength, you can strength train. There's SNC, there's strength and conditioning. So if you're fit for the game and you come to the field, you can train. What the men don't see, that women can actually be strong enough to play the same game as them with how